Welcome everybody and to another episode of COVID-19, the opportunities you didn't think of. I am your host, Casey Wallace, and on our program today is a very special woman. Victoria is a soul that has incarnated onto this earth ship with a far less than average purpose, intention, giftings than what most of us have commonly heard of. She comes to this earth ship through extraordinary circumstances of communications from beings ahead of time to her parents as to her arrival. She arrives with the uncanny ability of communication to beings, energies. Some people would call them aliens or entities, off-planet beings. And this is an ongoing, regular, communicative occurrence for her. She is very well known worldwide, so those of you who are familiar with her, we know you're going to just sit back and enjoy this conversation and just get into her energy because her energy is so delightful. For those of you who may not be familiar with her, I want to invite you to do this. I'm presuming that if you're watching this series and you're watching our television network, that you already have a pretty good open mind, and for that, I thank you and I honor you. For those of you who may not really be sure whether you have an open mind or not, this is going to be a program that's going to be able to give you the parameters to be very open-minded. Her story is phenomenal. You can catch it on Extraordinary Experiences, but today we're going to be talking to Victoria about the information that she has been receiving for quite a long time about this time in this moment of now on this earth ship happening worldwide, and give us some information from source energy, Christ energy, entities, beings that have foresight and wisdom and guidance for all of us as well. Welcome to the show, and of course, welcome Victoria, and thank you so much for being here with our viewers on this program.
Thank you so much, Casey. It's great to be with you again. And oh my goodness, we are in such an amazing window of time. And when I died in 81, Jesus showed me many things that are transpiring now. And I know others, as well as Brad, probably have seen these events unfolding. But as I have seen this illusion, we are in the illusion here. We have to remember, we are not in a realistic world. We're in an illusion, and we're getting ready to move into universal reality. But as we are in this illusion, we have to honor the fact that many people have experienced becoming ill. And of course, the media, they present a lot of exaggeration, but I mean, there are people that have the illness, and I have people in my life that I know that have had it or have it now. They're not close in proximity, but so I just say, first of all, those individuals that are frightened about this, please let go a little bit of your trust in what you're being shown from the media, from this illusional world. And there are aspects, of 5G and different things that they say have an effect on lowering the immune system of people. But I say unto you, great and glorious things are coming to this planet. And I feel like Martin Luther King. I've been to the mountain. I saw I saw literally a second Earth coming into the atmosphere back in 1997. I saw it in 2 visions and a 3rd vision when Princess Diana passed away. And I know with all my heart that we're going to get through this. These events are our last lessons to teach us to be strong and courageous and go inside our hearts and tune in and say, that doesn't seem right. That seems more of an illusion. That seems like it's an exaggeration. We have to step up to the plate and take responsibility for where our consciousness is, because subconsciously we have been shown all of these events. And like I said last night on my post on Facebook, I said, hey, everybody, I'm going to be going out of my body soon. I'll see you on the ship. Everybody sleep deep because you're getting instructions in your sleep state. And so, there's a number of challenges that are happening, as well as people's relationships. It's not just what's been created with the virus situation, but that's been used as a tool to actually help us people go home, get real with their family, love their family, get out of the doingness and go into the beingness, because this is all preparation for the great events that are unfolding. Now, what they have shown me, and this might be accurate for this person or this person, but it's accurate for me. So I'm not saying I have all the answers for everyone, but this is what they've shown me, that right now in this window of April, before Easter and perhaps right after Easter, we very well could experience also what they call the solar flash event, the great event. Now, for those that don't know what that is, the great event, many have foreseen this, that there is a flash that will cover the entire earth. Every single human being will experience this flash, and it will immediately affect their third eye and their pineal gland, and they will be shown what the fullness of their gifts that they never knew they had. That is coming. I feel it is not just, one of those rumors, or I feel that it's a real prophecy, because I've had friends, children have dreams lately, and they've said, Mom, I saw this in a dream, and this child wasn't even evolved to know anything about the solar flash. And she saw the whole thing. She saw all the colors. She saw the flash, and she also felt like she was supposed to just go to bed and go to sleep. And so what I have been shown is that there is a correlation between the flash and the second Earth, that is what we would call the parallel reality. It's been over here, and like when we have dreams where we saw our parents had passed on and we were hanging out with them over there, that's not illusion, that's real, because my parents have been there for a long time and I experience them all the time. This parallel reality is also the second Earth. So what they've been downloading to me since we did our first show together last week, the motherships have been hovering over the house, and they've been taking me out and giving me more information. And they're saying that there is a correlation between the flash coming, the second Earth, and it's going to activate and provide an opportunity when that flash happens we will be able to make this transition to the second earth. And I've said, of course, my vision of when Princess Diana passed, I was shown that we were asleep and we woke up and we looked outside and the earth had made the shift. And so that can also be intertwined with the process of these events. And so regardless of, and the people, oh, God bless their souls, those people that are having to say goodbye to their loved ones and all of the difficulties. I mean, my heart goes out to them because I have a multitude of people on the other side. And it's a very difficult thing to have to say goodbye to someone. But even those souls that have had to leave as a result of that virus, because they had pre-existing conditions, they are going to be celebrating and experiencing eternal life with all of us. The second earth is the pristine earth. We're on the boot camp in the 3D. And this earth, new earth, has been prepared for us. And there's no disease. There's abundance. There's instantaneous manifestation. All the projects you wanted to do in this dimension, you'll be able to just think about it and it'll manifest before your eyes there. And so I just wrap everybody up in my heart and I just say, I love you and I support you on this journey. And just keep yourself in check of not allowing yourself to become so frightened, and don't let your children watch the news, because there is a plan of the 3D that they are working to try and frighten people. And when we fear, we only fear what we do not understand. And if we understand that there is this divine plan surrounding us, and we are having to go through the steps and the tolerance and observing, be the observer, just don't embrace it and let it penetrate your soul, because it doesn't need to be that way. As a woman in the healing arts for years, I mean, I've touched over 30,000 people with these hands, and I know that experience, I don't know what's going to happen with my healing practice, because I feel like our dimension is shifting so quickly. I'm recording in this show with you in my office. I've held on to this. I let my house go because I was helping my friend with cancer. But I just know this is just a message of encouragement that I'm not an official about. I mean, I've seen all the videos that are going around the internet, and sometimes it just gets to be a little bit overkill to me. And then it stimulates fear and panic. And that's not where I come from, because we all have our picture of reality. You have yours, Brad has his, I have mine. But a beautiful thing that I found on like social media, like Facebook, so many have had similar visions that have correlated and matched up with what I've been shown, which is, it's nice to feel like we're all kind of getting the same info. Now, maybe you can interject here for a minute and I'll be quiet.
What I love, yes, there's that consistent gossamer thread of truth from practitioner to practitioner in the spiritual world, where we are all some forms of practitioners and speakers and things like that. People like you, Victoria, have been getting messages for years that there's this extraordinary opportunity that is going to be showcasing itself, and for us to be continually working on raising our consciousness, opening our minds, getting our frequencies, in alignment. What was so interesting is I don't know, well, I said this before, I don't know anybody in my arena that got the prediction that this COVID thing was going to show up, that was going to be just the thing that puts everybody into that a little more isolated, calm, introverted state. I suppose we all figured that something was going to have to occur to start to get everybody platformed for something. And I suppose because, yes, we live in a third dimensional paradigm right now, it was more than likely going to be something tied a little bit around fear. And that's okay, because like you said, if we see it that way, we see it as an opportunity. We welcome the alignment of everything, which puts us right into the frequency that we need to be in for these extraordinary things to take place. So yes, I support you 1,000% on that. People are getting their version of, I think, the same idea of what's going to take place. I would love to ask you, so for the beings that you have very, very strong communication with, is there a particular race or species of being that you talk to? Is it a wide range of variable species that you talk to? If that's not too much of a personal question, that you feel, that you're really part of that family. Obviously, you're part of that family. Do you have a strong indication of that when you talk to them?
I do. In fact, ever since 1987, I've been aware that I've been receiving communication from 10 races, as well as, Jesus, Sananda, Yeshua, however you want to refer to him as. He's been a major communicator to me since I was a child. Ezekiel, who my father picked up and who came to me when I was 5 and comes in his ship, he's another consistent communicator. As well as I know Saint Germain speaks to me a lot. And I am originally an Andromedan seed, but I did have lives in Pleiades. I've worked with the Phoenicians, the Arcturians, the Pleiadians, the Syrians, and but my primary, and the Nordics. The Nordics have literally taken me on their ship and told me and consoled me, look, don't worry, because all of the benevolent races are going to be uniting to assist Earth in this initiation and this merging that we're going to go through. So I would say key consistent communication has been from Jesus, from Saint Germain, from the Andromedans, and the Nordics.
Well, thank you for that, because I love and support, all of that. What I think probably one of the most fascinating things to me is you are the first person for me in this lifetime to support this continual ongoing relationship, this really blatant communication where they convey to you, when they're going to be, you can kind of call them in. You guys just have, it's like your next door neighbors. I mean, this seamless relationship. I've had the opportunity to talk to people who've had encounters, maybe one, maybe a couple. I've had the opportunity to have students who've had encounters and now have like implants, and things in them. So I've had that portion of it. But I've always felt that in my own experiences as well, that these communications are more wrapped in love and possibility than kind of that dark, frightening edge that a lot of people, I don't know, and I'm not discounting anybody's experience. If somebody has a frightening experience, I send love to you. But those seem to be the ones that get really sensationalized because fear sells. And so I love that you are the living, breathing demonstration that these communications are there. They're ongoing. They They don't have to be frightening or terrifying. They don't have to be foreign. Really, the only word alien just simply means something you're not familiar with, okay?
I don't even use the word alien. I use ultra terrestrials. But thank you in that. I mean, it all comes from love. It's never, the message is never changed from anything but love. And I've worked with people that have had some of the less positive experiences, but mine have been, I've been blessed, and fortunately my parents my parents and even my grandmother recognized, I guess, my soul of who I came to be. So,
And of course, my personal perception of that has to do with your own energy frequency. We are energy beings, and we are going to attract likened energy frequency beings. We see that in our own human lives, as well as all of the other communication. So I always tell everybody, you want to have high frequency experiences, raise your frequency. Get on the team, and that's who you're going to attract, and have communication with. And obviously, Victoria, you're of extraordinarily high vibration, because it is nearly blinding as it comes off of you, but also to be able to read that. For people who are very excited about this conversation as it's taking place, as they're listening to it right now, and they're like, man, this is the coolest thing. And I know that I have students, we have students through Julius, through my transition of Julius, who would just love the idea. I can think of one person in particular who just is begging to have some kind of an encounter. For people who have that desire, are there clues and hints that you could give to them on how they can make loving connection with these beings? Is there a way for them to kind of learn how to do that?
well, number one, they have to let go of any fears, any self-doubt. We have our doubting Thomases. I want to have an encounter, but yet they really don't believe they can. So people need to really open their hearts. Like when I took that group out of 16 witnesses that you saw with that Goodyear blimp-sized ship right over us, their hearts were open. I'd already given a presentation to them, and they went with me. So I just say to people, really go inside, meditate. I dowse a lot. Now, dowsing is working with the pendulum, and mine's very, very accurate. And so if I can't, because I'm a Pisces, I can't ever make my mind up. Sometimes it's my second confirmation, but they can tune in and say, okay, is it for my highest good? First of all, they need to say, is it for my highest good to have this encounter? And if they're dowsing, yes, it is. And then they can ask, is there any reason why I shouldn't have this encounter? And see if they get a signal of, well, no. And people have to learn to work with their ability to dowse, but I know it's a science. It's very accurate. That's something that's helpful. And then I think just pay attention to the signs now. When people get that wave of sleepiness over them, they might be looking at their phone and all of a sudden, oh my gosh, I gotta go out. And that is a signal that they want to work with your consciousness. And as people learn to, I guess, ride that wave and get familiar with those times, then they can get more communication. A lot of people don't realize they're really clairaudient. Maybe they get a thought in their head, and they don't give it credit. They don't let it discern itself. And fortunately, I've been doing that clairaudience since I was 5. So I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell people how to do something you just kind of been doing naturally your whole life. But um, I think that it's a process of just learning to love yourself, do not doubt, and realize that we're in a very interesting window of all of our gifts awakening. And but I've taken groups out before, and once in a while we've had a couple of people that were nervous, and the ships didn't want to come because those people, their energy was counterproductive. So
Our group, we have such an enthusiastic group. They'd be out there. They'd be out there. Dude, come see us, which is so much fun. And lovely.
yes,
We live in our reality too. Here, my husband Brad and I, and what we do, and we share our gifts and our transmissions and information. And our intention has always been to uplift, empower, enlighten, encourage, allow, assist people in letting go of the judgments of their lives and know themselves and be joyous. And I know that that is your divine purpose as well in your arrival. I actually want to take this time, besides the time spent privately with you, to publicly thank you for coming to the Earth ship this time around.
thank you. Thank you so much.
Just to this show, okay? Extremely honored, of course, to have you on our shows. But I don't know if people thank you enough for your arrival and your ability to maintain your extraordinary kindness and compassion and love that you transmute onto everybody. I hope the audience can see that with you. I know that they can, and I know that this conversation has instilled some calm and peace and possibly some great enthusiasm for people for what is going on in this time. Victoria, as we come out of this conversation, for now, is there something that you could say to the audience, just a word of encouragement as to what they can be doing for their own selves now to help calm themselves down and see the opportunities that are taking place right now?
Take time to go into a stillness, put on some beautiful music. I have some beautiful music that I created. It's healing music I played with my eyes closed, and it's harps and strings and ocean waves. I also, and I offer that to people, but I also listen to John Siri, who is a very galactic musician, and his music really takes me out. And they can type in John Serrie, Serrie, and he did music for NASA. I mean, it's very galactic and just takes them out. But just put on some nice music and do some soul searching. Maybe even make a list of the pros and cons, the things that you want to let go of, and the emotions and characteristics and behaviors that you have that you want to embrace more of. Because right now, this is we have to do our homework because things are coming quickly. I really believe we're going to see some amazing miracles and transformation and astounding events before our eyes in the month of April. I'm not one to give an actual date, but although Jesus came to me on the 27th of April, and maybe that's when it'll happen. But love, forgive, be of service, be in joy. These are the things that Jesus told me when he laid his hands on me. And He came to me in the middle of the night, and I sent that around the planet, and everybody was so grateful because they said, just to hear it from somebody that's experienced him. At this point, a lot of people in your life might not wake up soon enough for you to feel like they're standing with you, but don't worry. They're going to get it in a twinkling of an eye. We are all, those of us that have pure in heart, we will get it. And I guess that's the prayer that I would send out to you.
So much for your, warmth and kindness. You know how much I love you. I love you. Thank you to your thank you to my viewers. We hope that you are enjoying this series, COVID-19, the opportunities you didn't think of. We are doing our best to bring you extraordinary people to assist you at this time, to know that there are greater things to be created. We are sending all of you love, peace, calm, clarity, and expansion during this time and always, with extreme gratitude for being with us. I will see you again on the next episode. Thanks so much.